developing breeds of excellence.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode on the Soaring Eagles Talk Show. It has been an amazing journey uh, of bringing this amazing project to us. And today is another episode that we'll be talking on a very important subject. And I want you to stay glued to your set, to whichever means you're using to listen to us now, and be very attentive because what we are bringing to you is a fundamental principle that many people lack. And that is why we are seeing more of the increase of scarcity and poverty, even in our today's world. As we all know, success is not determined only by the amount of hard work that you put into a thing. Success is not determined by the labor you put into a thing, but there are principles upon which we apply with hard work and labor to be able to attain that point of success. And that's why today we bring into you a very important topic, which says financial literacy, a key to a prosperous future. I want you to note that it's not just the only key that is needed to a prosperous future, but it's a vital key. An important key that is needed to that prosperous future that we all desire. I'm sure most of us don't have that desire of seeing our parents struggle in the way they struggle and also want to replicate that in our future. That is not the prosperous future we are looking forward to. So that's why we're bringing this episode for you, because when you don't have that knowledge, you might have the tendency of repeating the mistakes that our parents of old have repeated. And that's why we're bringing to you this episode on financial literacy. As I said, a key to a prosperous future. I want you to know that financial literacy is the foundation of wealth. It empowers individuals to make informed decisions rather than reckless mistake. It transforms money from a source of stress into a tool of total freedom. And before we start, I want us to very keenly look at what Benjamin Franklin said. He said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And that is why with me today, we have a very, very prolific guest who will do justice to this topic and much more. And he's the general manager of Shop City Shopping Mall here in Jos City. It's my pleasure to have with me on board Mr. Adeyinka. Welcome on board, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, please can we meet you? Can you just introduce yourself briefly?
Okay. You're welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Mr. Adeyinka Emmanuel Omojola, and I'm the general manager of Shop City Supermarkets and also a business consultant. So I've been into business since 2006, and this year made it 20 years been into business. So it's really, really an honor to be here because it's something we're going to learn today. Looking at that financial literacy, a key to a prosperous future. It's not something you start one day. We've been there for so long, and today we're going to learn something so very, very important that will keep us fit for the future. So thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Before we dive into the discussion in whole, Robert Kiyosaki said something very important. He said, most people have a money problem. They have a decision-making problem. Do you agree to that fact?
Yes. They have decision-making problem. I think early this year, I sent a post on my Facebook page, and it was one of the key things I've been studying for years. Decision-making, I said those things. I say, if you cannot make a decision, you can never have a direction. The first important thing in life is to have a decision. Where are you going to? And it's all about something for years. I think it's all about the mindset. Decision is all about mindset. The moment you're able to bring in a new mindset, that is the first point of making a decision. So the most important thing is to have the mindset. Without that mindset of doing certain things, it doesn't work. You're supposed to have that mindset that certain things has to change. And for that thing, before you have that, when you're having that mindset, what happens next? It comes with decision. So decision is one of the most important things to anything you're doing. Be it business, be it finance, be it academics, decision making is the most important thing. Let's go back to the Bible. The Bible told us one thing. It said, when God wanted to create the earth, he said, come, let us make man in our own image. Come, let us. It was a decision point he was making. Because at that point, he knew that there were a lot of things that were not fitting in. And the only thing he could do was to make decisions to see how things can be transformed. Because he has already seen. You should be able to ask yourself, what are you trying to change? Is it finance? Is it marriage? Is it academics? Decision is the first thing. You should be able to know what is that thing you're trying to do. So decision is the most important thing in every area of life.
Okay, we're bringing it down to our study, our discussion today. How does this impede in finances, that is in financial decisions?
Good. Now, when we come to decision, one thing you must be able to know is to understand. Understand the lyrics. How does it work? How does it work? When you're looking at that aspect, decision in our present term, in the finance, what does it mean? Financial literacy is just the ability to manage money effectively. So you should be able to know, okay, if this money is coming, how do you manage it? How do you work on this? Yes, we pray for a lot of things in life, but when you're having this financial literacy, you should be able to understand what you are expected to do. So in that aspect, I think with that, you can be able to have a clear picture on that.
All right. That is, you have answered already the question of the essence why we are here. That is, they have explained to us what financial literacy is. That is making the right decision in terms of spending the money we have. Absolutely. Okay, then we understand that in finance, not in the broad sense, but in the common sense, we have 4 principles that guides financial literacy as a whole. Can you help us understand these 4 principles?
Now, first and foremost, the 4 principles, and there are more than 4 principles. But first and foremost, you have the budgeting. The budgeting is there. The savings is there, right? Then the future planning is also there. Now, when you look at from that point of budgeting, the principle, do you know how to budget? Budgeting means, okay, fine. You are collecting a certain amount of money per month. Do you know how you're able to make a budget of what you spent at every month, in every month? So you should be able to understand how budgets work very, very well. Then saving aspects. Most people ignore the power of multiplication. They ignore that. What does it mean? When you start saving, sometimes you cannot, they said, there's something I had to learn so many years ago. And it's just like little water makes a mighty ocean. You just pray for certain things to happen. You build it. Finances, you build finance. You don't just pray for it to come down. You build it. So if you're able to understand how to build it, and how does it work? By savings. No amount of money is too small. But the question is, you should be able to start understanding how to save. If you're able to get that done, before you know, you see yourself growing in a different area. And also, when you look at investments, most people don't understand the power of investments. The moment you're able to budget, you go to the level of savings. Then the other one is investments. You should be able to tell what sort of investment am I to put in my money. It's not just, okay, you know how to budget, you know how to save. What about the investment aspects? Because the investment is another key. A lot of investments are on ground, but you should be careful not to just take your way to another different form. Then the most powerful one, which is planning for the future. You plan for the future. A Rome is not built within a day. So that future planning is, you should be able to have a long-time goal. I think every 10 years, I review my goal personally. Where do I want to be? How do I want to do my things? So you have these long-time future plans. The future plans, that's why the Bible told us about ants. Say, go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways. Because they understand that during the rainy season, there's always seasons in life. So when you don't have the plan to have these future savings, you might not even understand what happens. So future savings is important. So when you look at these 4 principles, just like the way you said, the budgeting is there, the savings is there, the investment is there, then the future savings, which is very, very important. So with these 4 points, if you're able to guide that, because there's one thing the Bible says, it said, guide your heart with all what? Diligence. For out of it are the issues of life. Issues of life means there are a lot of things that will happen. The good, the bad, the ugly. It will surely come. But the question is, what do you do? What do you do? Because one thing you should start doing is to start preparing for the future. It's not just a short time, but a longer time. So that you will know when anything happens, you know where to bounce back on. So the future savings is very, very important. And in that, having that decision really, really gives you an edge to so many things. So I think with this.
All right. But when we look at the society as a whole now, in a broad sense, we see that many people, because of the impatience that is built in man, especially, I'm sorry to bring in this demographic, especially we Africans, there is that impatience that is built in us. And they try to shy away from the painstaking actions that comes with these processes. Because before you can save, you have to let go of many things to be able to save. And that is because you have a desired future in mind.
Good.
But what happens when we begin to shy away from the painstaking process and begin to feed the present, and forgetting that the future has something that we are supposed to pursue after? What actually happens? What happened to such an individual?
Now, I think there has been a problem right from the onset. You know, most people lack the disciplinary aspects. Discipline is one of the most important things, it's a key. Whatever you are doing, you look at the present, and most of the people right now are impatient. Impatient, they want it now. Now. How long do you want certain things now? You cannot just see somebody that established business in 35 years, or you just established a business today, and you are expecting that person will fund the whole of that business today. He will understand the business theory, understand the structure, understand the marketing, and the rest. But, you know, when time reveals itself. When you keep on, you grow to glow. You grow to glow. Most people don't understand that at some point where you begin to have a lot of experience, we always say experience is the best teacher. And discipline and patience works together. You cannot eliminate that. The youth of today are looking at it today. How do I want to make it now? I want to blow. You blow and you without growing. You are supposed to grow while you glow. So at this point, most of the youth around presently now should understand that whatever you are doing, you have to be patient. You have to understand. You have to unlearn to relearn so that you can learn. So with this, if the youth can be able to understand that discipline and patience, I always have some basic principle that I've been using for the past years. And I learned that so well because integrity, hard work, and discipline, these are the 3 words. They are very, very important. So for you to be able to grow as an individual, number 1, your integrity should be at stake. You should have that integrity. Integrity is number 1, which is very, very important. Everybody wants people with integrity. Everybody wants to work with somebody with integrity. Everyone wants to associate themselves with people that have integrity. Then also, they want to see how hardworking are you. Whatever you're doing, do you love that job? Do you love what you're doing? Do you enjoy what you're doing? It's all about the time. You can stay for 6 hours and you enjoy your job. And somebody can come and stay for 24 hours without enjoying his job. So whatever you're doing as an individual presently, you should be able to see, am I enjoying this? Because the future is now. All the future we are praying for, the future is now. So whatever you're doing, looking at that, we should be able to understand that we need to put our mind into the present, not the past, and also look at how the future will be able to grow and glow.
All right, thank you very much. And you made mention of something that have been a concern to me as a person, especially with the demography we find ourselves, that is as youths. There's a major misconception now in our age, and that is the place of riches and wealth.
Good.
Can you help us differentiate these two terms? Because I don't believe that being rich is being wealthy. And some people have that mindset that once you are rich, you are wealthy, which is a misconception. Please, can you help us bring us up to speed to this misconception and how it affecting the lives of people that have not gotten the true meaning of what it really entails?
Thank you. I think I love the question, because this is one of the most important questions everyone needs to understand. You know, when you talk about, most people don't understand what it means to be rich and what it means to be wealthy. They are two different things apart. Now, let me start by being rich. If I give you ₦1 million today, you're rich. You have ₦1 million. You're just like, I am rich, I have this money. A money being given to you, you don't grow it. That means you're rich. But being wealthy, because I just try to explain in a certain way, in a simpler way, being wealthy is so simple. You know how to grow it. Everybody that are wealthy today, you are wealthy, you should be able to know how to grow the wealth. You understand that if somebody that is wealthy today might end up taking a risky business and they lose the whole of that money, give him time, the person comes back, because he understands one thing: system. The rich only have, the person that is rich is being given the money. You only have that money, but you don't know how to multiply it. The wealthy have the money, they know how to grow the money, and they know how to multiply it. And that is why the wealthy understand one certain thing: system. System is something the wealthy understand. So being rich and being wealthy, you don't put two of them together. They are far apart. Very, very far apart.
Okay, so at this point now, what is the best age that a person can a person begin to have this knowledge of financial literacy?
At this stage, one thing I always tell people: the first thing you need is your mindset. The mindset is the most important thing. You are not too late to start. You are not too late to start. At every stage, the day you discover that you need to grow, to glow, you're ready. At the point, yes, but I always advise parents, the upcoming fathers, the mothers should be able to teach their children from childhood how money works. Now, I think the example I try to give at home to most of the youth around: what do I do to them? Okay, fine. Can you be able to do this and I pay you for this? I'm not dashing you the money. I'm trying to teach you how to do what? Fish.
Yes.
There is this proverb I've said, don't give me fish, but teach me how to what? Fish. Yeah. So in a case, for you, this age is not the problem. Some people start at the age of 15. Some people start at the age of 20, at the age of 25. Some others start at the age of 70. Is when you have a rebrand mindset. Back in the days, I think 2016, I had to make this scenario so clear today, because I think 2015, I was entering into the new year. And I needed something so different, because I've been doing the normal thing the normal way. It wasn't working for me. And I said, okay, fine. How old I was? How old? I can't remember. I can look at that age. But one thing I said was, it's time to change my mindset on finance. And from that point, 2016, changing my mindset immediately. I need to understand how this thing works. So it doesn't matter if you are young, you are old. The main thing is, are you ready to take that leap immediately? So it's not all about the age, but how ready are you to be able to start?
Thank you. As you've heard it, it's not all about the age, but it is how ready you are to actually take the step. And I believe that with this information we are bringing to your table today, your mind should begin to have some revolutions as we as we bring this discussion away, because it's actually a factor that has led many young minds even to the early grave. Because once you cannot understand the basics of what it takes to grow your finance to a point of wealth, then you will miss out on the basic instruction that is needed for you to be even exist as a person and to build that future that you so desire. So continuing on the conversation, sir, we looking at our Nigerian setup now, using this country as an example, we see that many people make good income in a decent way, but there is this misappropriation or the misuse of this income, so that, and you see that most households struggle to keep up even at the point of good income that comes into the family. So why is it that, why do we experience such?
Thank you so much. The most important thing is financial education is very, very important. Financial education is very, very important. And why am I saying that? Because the moment you understand how money is being made, you understand how to grow money, you understand how to budget, how to multiply money, you will not be having that problems. And secondly, most of the times people have this poor habit of spending. Poor habit of spending. You don't sit down to plan. What is the most important thing? I think when you look at in 30 days, there are some most important things within 30 days. You will know that these are your basic essentials. You will eat, am I right?
Yes.
You will take water, am I right? Now, also, for those that are using phones, you will recharge your phones. You want to call your loved ones, you want to call the office and the rest. And also, looking at your distance, you should be able to know, okay, fine, the transportation I'm taking from here to this spot, how much covers me for the next 30 days, for the next 27 days. You should be able to arrange yourself, make a proper budget for that. With that, if you're able to do that, you will not really have these problems. And most people don't really understand certain things, that when you now reduce your spending, sometimes people just spend excessively. You don't make plans. There's this word that says, he who fail to plan, plan to fail. So whatever you are doing, you should be able to have a proper plan. What are your goals for the month? What are your goals for the day? What are your goals for the week? What are your goals for the year? So you having these issues, most family having this issue is because they never sat down to look at the most important thing. Is my financial education life solid or not? The moment they understand that it's not solid, the question is, what do I do to improve my financial education? Knowledge is power. And any information you don't know is always against you. So the moment you're able to have that, you work on that. To be honest, you don't work under pressure. Financial education helps you, literacy helps you not to work under pressure, because you already know your boundaries. You know yourself. You know your capacity. So at this point, the reason why most people are suffering today is because they lack that financial understanding.
That's good. You made a point, which is supposed to lead me to my next question on poor financial habits. You mentioned overspending, reckless spending, and others. But there is something that is very prevalent. We have seen a poor financial habit, which is the place of greed, especially with Ponzi schemes and others. People want to give 100,000 and get 10 million in return. And it's affecting many, putting many into pressure, putting many into depression that have even taken lives. So how do we tackle such kind of poor financial habits?
That's a good one. I think when you look at the present trend, everybody are liking the word, they want to blow. Everybody wants to blow. And at this point, looking at all this Ponzi scheme. Now, I always tell you, I said something from the beginning. You grow and you don't blow. You grow and you don't blow. When you look at the bank, what's the bank meant to do? Bank hold your money. And when you're looking at them, they run your money through a business. Everything everyone is doing, you're solving a problem. You are expected to solve a problem. But somebody calls you for a Ponzi scheme investment. You didn't go, you didn't check it, you didn't do anything, just because you have that greed mindset. The greed mindset is one of the problems a lot of youths are facing today. They don't want to work. You know, I spoke to you about hard work.
Yes.
And hard work takes time. It's not just a day. It takes time for you to be able to grow it. And the moment you understand how to grow things, now let's put it this way. If you are trying to eat an apple, you don't know how it's been planted, am I right?
Yes.
And you want to have the same apple in your house. What do? You look for the seed, am I right? Now, does this grow within a day?
No.
No, it takes process.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, you should be able to understand how the process is and how it entails. But at this stage, you look at a lot of people, okay, fine, you come with this interest, in the next 2 weeks, you get 100% interest. Even the treasury bills, even most of these things that are genuine, it takes time. They don't just tell you, you bring this in the next 30 days, no. Because business have is uptrend and downtrend. They are uptrend and they are downtrend. So you should be able to understand, okay, fine, if this should happen in the next 6 months, how much is the interest? Any interest that is too over big is suspicious. I think most people need to get this thing clear. Anything that they are telling you, they're giving you a lot of interest, you need to check that. Most people don't ask questions. Why are things done like this? And that is why a lot of them fall into Ponzi scheme. Because they know you have greed. What is greed? It's for you to say, I want to get it now. Not even minding how long it takes. So with this, we should be able to understand that you need to understand it and you need to study the environment. Ask questions. And the moment you're able to ask questions, you realize that, wow, is it a good investment or a bad investment? But remember, it takes time. And there are things that will tell you this thing is a good investment when you make some inquiries.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And also, while you were talking, it came to my memory that there are some actions that we can take today that can hinder our tomorrow's growth, our tomorrow's prosperity. And it's not just only in other fields. It also applies to the field of finances and how we grow our finance. So, what is your take? What is your take on some of those actions that people take ignorantly that affects their tomorrow? What's your take on some of those kind of actions?
Now, I will say this. Most people actions are, indecision is a problem. Indecision is a problem. And at some point, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. Whatever you are doing today, you should be able to understand that where are you going to? Decision making is all about telling yourself, where are you going to? The question you should be asking yourself, fine, today, I'm trying to go to a friend's house. I have so many friends. Am I right? The question I should be able to do is, which of the friends am I going to see? So whatever you're doing, you should be able to have a direction on where you are going to. Because the most important is to have that decision mindset. What do I want to achieve? How do I want to get these things done? Because there are a lot of questions hanging. Everything tagged with a question. What do I want to do with this question? Every question have an answer. Am I right?
Yeah.
There is this proverb I always say, when you sit long enough on a question, the answer do what? The answer will find you. So if you're able to sit down and analyze these things are happening, either marriage, either this, either finance, either church, either economy, however, the country as a whole, what can be done? There is no question without answers. But the question is, what are you trying to tackle? When you pick a cameraman, always try to he takes his camera to look at the picture. What is he trying to look at? He's trying to focus on something he's looking. He might see so many pictures, but he has something he's targeting. So when you as an individual, what are you seeing with your lens? What do you want to achieve? So if everybody can be able to put their mind down to tell themselves, now in this area of finance, what am I seeing? How do I want to grow my life? What in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, where do I want to see myself? I make a self-evaluation every 10 years. Every 10 years, I make self-evaluation. In the next 10 years, how do I want to see myself? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to stay? how do I want to do my things, the kind of friends, the kind of business, the kind of money I want to still also make. Because financial decision is still there.
Yes.
I should be able to tell myself, these are the plans for my life. These are the plans for my family. These are the plans for my community. These are the plans for the church. These are the plans for the mosques. So you should be able to look at it in the context, wherever you are. What are you trying to see? So with that, if you're able to have that clear picture of what you're seeing, I think with that, everything will be solved easily.
You're very on point, because if we don't have a focus, the world will actually give us a focus.
Absolutely.
If we don't have a drive, everything around us will actually give us a drive.
Absolutely.
So that is why it's needed for us to be focused. And once our mind is on a thing, we can, and narrowed to that thing, we can put all our zeal to see that it is being done. Okay, then this leads me to my next question. We see this as an issue, especially when it comes to one of the principles of financial literacy, which is that of investment. Many people don't see business as a business of risk. Let me give an example. An importer is about to import goods. It's a risk alone in importing those goods, but he will not have that fear of not taking the risk and hold his money. If he does that, that money won't grow. As you said, wealthy people grow the money in their hands. So many people, especially youths, they have this fear of investment, the fear of investment, and the fear of risk. They are not ready to take risk in some certain areas of their life, especially when it comes to finances. So how do we tackle the fear of risk as it relates to managing money?
I think let me say this word. Any information you don't know is against you. Any information you don't know is against you. And when you come to investments, there are good investments and there are also bad investments. Most people don't sit down to analyze. I think that's the problem. Most people don't sit down to analyze. Before going to a business today, have you really gone for a training? What is a training meant to do? A training is meant to teach you certain things. You don't just come within 1 month, you're done with the training. Never. For every business to grow today, it takes at least 3 years before you should be able to start making capital to decide if that business is growing or not. Maximum of 3 years. You cannot just jump into a business today. I want to learn a trade, and you're expecting that today I get the money. That will not work. First and foremost, do you have that knowledge, the know-how? And secondly, the reason why most youths are so skeptical and they are afraid, most people, you're supposed to have a positive mindset. That's another key. A positive mindset is something you are expected to have at every point of time. Risk every day is a risk. Every point of time you are doing anything is a risk. Life is a risk. So you should be able to understand certain things that life already has given you a dimension for risk taking. But you shouldn't look at the fear zone. What does fear tells you? False evidence appearing real. It has not happened yet. Do you know the reason why most people don't succeed in investment today? Okay, I'm afraid. The reason why most people when you look at that today, how many people take decisions today? 0.1%. Less than 1%. Decision making less than. Before you take decision, you should be able to look at it. But most people just like it will not work. And they give up. It will not. They already have this mindset in them that it will not work. But when you are having this positive mindset, okay, fine, have the full knowledge of what is happening. You need to study to learn. You study and you learn. You read, you look at the analysis, because I tell you something about business. Business is a risk. We have the uptrend and the downtrend. There are times when you have seasons in business. It's normal, it's complete. Let's look at this Christmas period. What do you sell in Christmas? There are items that you will sell in Christmas that you don't sell from January to September. And from October, the business picks up. And there are items that you will sell, you run into a business in January and it's moving. When it comes to October, it ceased. So you should be able to look at it. You should be able to analyze, okay, fine. If they are uptrend, what do I do? If they are downtrend, what do I do? You should be able to learn to analyze that business. Even an investment. Somebody will tell you, yes, I'm going to investment. The question is, you don't have the knowledge. What's that investment about? Just bring your money, I'll run an investment for you. Without you asking, there are detailed questions you need to understand. Ask the questions. What do they do? How is it like? Where are the challenges? Most people don't want to ask, where are the challenges? There are challenges in every business. Yes. Even God from the beginning knew that there were challenges on the earth. And that was why he said he saw the earth. The earth was without what? Form or void. He saw it clearly. But he just like, let us do this. Let's take a decision. And he saw, when he started, he said everything was good. Everything was good. The first day it was good. The second day it was good. The third day it was good. And at the end of the day, he knew that everything was going smoothly. But don't forget, there are days it will happen. So you should learn to understand that in everything you are doing, be it investments, everything is a risk. A pilot today on a flight, sometimes you don't even, you experience turbulence. It will come. It's normal. Sometimes you are just moving, the coast is clear. You see before you know, rain is falling. Those are risk factor too. But what do you put in place? If the risk factor should happen, what are you doing? So you should be able to understand that the risk factor is one thing you should put into consideration. Always put the risk factor into consideration.
Just like an astronaut that goes to space and stays months, years before they return.
Before they returned. So certain things, you should need to understand it. No matter what happened, risk is a factor that will always happen. It's certain. So you don't take that away from your mind.
Thank you. So when you are dealing with risk, there is another tendency that normally comes up, and that is the place of debt. What impact does debt have in the financial stability of an individual? Whether it's being giving out debt or you taking in debt as a person. Okay. It's a two-way.
Good. So there are good debts and there are bad debts. There are good debts and there are bad debts. Now, when you talk about, let's talk with the bad debts. Now, you're coming to borrow money from me to buy a television. Is that a good debt or a bad debt? Look at the way it is. The television you are buying, there are two things that happen. You should be able to ask the question, will it give you money? Or will it just be servicing your joy? Yeah. So that is where it is. A bad debt comes in, okay, fine, I want to buy a clothes. Just for, okay, you're having a wedding, I'm borrowing money to buy a clothes. That is a bad debt. Some of these bad debts, you begin to understand that people begin to borrow money for things that are non-essentials. Then when we talk about the good debts, there are good debts too. There are good debt for investments. Estate is there. A lot of business, okay, fine, you want to have, you are looking for a startup capital for this. And when you start a business, you are paying the loan. There's a way you pay the loan. It doesn't give you this. You don't get so exhausted. You don't get so frustrated to pay that back. So debts are good and debts are also bad. So from the two-way, you should be able to understand that what are you using your debts to do. So that is where one needs to understand the clarity of these two, the good debts and the bad debts. But never despise, there is always a time for you to do that. But I always advise, when you have a system in place, system is very, very important. Before you take a debt, you should ask yourself, is that thing very, very important to you or not? You should be able to scale. We have what we call scale of preference. That's in economics, right? Yes. You should be able to have your needs accordingly. Is this thing very, very important to me or not? Will this thing add a positive? Will it be positive to my life or not? Will it give me problems or not? Because you need to scale it. It's for you to have a scaling of debt. Even the federal government will tell you, we've collected debt to be able to offset this, and the rest. But the question is that debt you're collecting, are you making money from it more or not? If I'm collecting money for an investment today, what am I expecting? I'm expecting to have a return. The money I can be able to pay in that debt from that same money I've collected, and also see how I can be able to have more of it. So when you look at that, debt is good, and debt is also what's bad.
That was very punctual. Okay, another thing that gives me a cause to worry. I think while I was growing up, I came to understand that see the society rewards those that are problem solvers and not problem makers. So in this our world and in this our sphere today, many people will say, I could not get job, I couldn't, there's no means for me to making wealth. How do we identify some of these problems in our local community so that we can be able to proffer solution to that? Because that alone is already a means of making money and stabilizing yourself financially. I heard of a lady that is in Lagos. She looked at her the environment. Nobody there is selling gari. And she decided that she's going to be making gari in sachets. And this time, not even in sachets, she's adding milk and adding sugar to it. And before you know, from local, it went over. And people are, and this is things that are selling all over the nation now. But it started with just seeing that scarcity. So how do we cultivate that mindset of being problem solvers and not just problem makers?
Now, we have two kind of person in this world, two kind of person. Be it Canada, be it US, be it Nigeria, South Africa, we have two kind of person in this world. And those two are very, very important. The people that create the problem and people that solve the problem. The question I always ask people is, where do you belong? Are you the problem solver or you are the problem creator? You said something that is very, very important. You are meant to solve problems. Everybody's looking for a job. They tell you there is a job vacancy. They are asking you, do you have the capacity to solve that problem? Is the capacity to solve the problem. There is no place today that there is no problem. Or there is no place that there is no job. Everywhere, we are all solving one problems or the other.
Sure.
Now, for example, you just said something that was so very, very important. A lady looks at our environment. Now, the first thing is to have that focus. What do you see? What are you seeing? What is lacking? In my environment today, I think just of recent, when the kerosene was so expensive, before you know, we started seeing a lot of gas stations coming on board in different angles, in different centers, in different areas. And before you know, everybody jumped in from kerosene stove to gas.
Yeah.
And don't forget, the person bringing in the trailer that will bring in the gas, there must be a factory. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now, from the factory, now people that are going to buy to resell, somebody will still buy the empty. Somebody will buy the tube. Now, what can you do? That's the question. What can you do? You cannot tell me there is no job in Nigeria. There are a lot of opportunities today in Nigeria. But the question is, what problem are you willing to solve? Is it skill sets? Is it on-skill sets? Is it labor sets? So the main thing is you ask yourself, what problem am I coming to solve in my environment, in my locality, in my state, in my country? So you should be able to, at this point, in Nigeria, we still have so many opportunities, a lot of untapped. When you look at the security sector too, the same thing applies. They are all there to solve a problem. So with this, you will not be, the youth today should be able to see what problems am I coming to solve? What is the problem in this environment? What is the other problem in that environment? And how will I be able to help to solve? I said something I said something so clear. All the money you want or all the money you need is not in your pockets, it's in someone's pockets. But how do you take it out? Is by having a what? By being a problem solver. So either you should be a problem solver, solving the problems to be able to, also solve your own. But most people think, no, the jobs are scarce, the jobs are this. A lot of opportunities today. We import toothpick. Am I right? We import toothpick, we import batteries, we import flowers. Look at the trees today. They are being produced. Even the palm oil you see today is being imported. So there are a lot of opportunity you can be able to. A truck driver does fine from the factory to this place. How can I be able to bring in? How can they be able to load it? Okay, bring it to the market. Okay, people that are buying, people that buy. We have the retail and the wholesale sellers. If you look at this business is good, why can't I just venture into it? Palm oil business has been okay, fine. In my state, I have a lot of palm oil in my state. Very good, the best. Somebody who's like, I have the best Gary. They might tell you the white Gary, we have the brown Gary, we have the yellow Gary, we have the Ijebu Gary. The question should be asking, what kind of Gary that you want to bring in that is better? People don't even have. And what are people looking for? In your environment, what are they looking for? Somebody is going from here, spending like 30 minutes drive to somewhere to look for something. And a lot of people are going there. Why can't you begin to be a parent of, okay, how can I bring that to my own environment? Now, remember, the moment you bring it in, you're solving a problem. So each youth, you should be able to look at your environment as a youth, as an adult. What problem will I be able to solve at the moment? It is not yesterday. It's today. The future we are praying for 10 years today. This is the future today. So whatever you're looking for is in today. How can I be a better person today? How can I solve someone's problem today? The moment you're able to understand that concept, you've gotten an edge to so many things in your life. So you should not be saying, there is no job, there is no this. No. What problem are you willing to solve? I still say that. The problem you're willing to solve creates an avenue for a lot of things for you. Because you will still meet a lot of people, exposure is there, a lot of growth still comes in. And before you know, somebody that starts with just one staff today, before you know, you've grown like 5. Before you know, 10, 15, 20, 30. So it's all about having this mindset that, wow, what problem am I willing to solve? And before you know, everything becomes.
Okay, if you look, there is a pattern that is also linked to this subject we just spoke on now. Once a person is able to solve a problem, many people have that tendency of being copycats. We want to repeat that same pattern. If he's working for this person, it has to work for me. And we fail to sit back to have that skill of being a creative, because I believe in a society, in a community we find ourselves, we can't just have just one problem. For the fact that somebody has been able to pick out one, if you're able to set your mind to pick out one, and that's the place of focus, as you said. So in our Nigerian economy now, where we have a high rate of unemployment, how can our skills and talent be streamed, be coined to the part of financial stability? How can we develop our skills and talent into streams of income as youths now, instead of repeating patterns? But we have these skills and abilities and talents that we can put in to create our own solution instead of repeating another pattern, and in the same sense making financial streams of income for ourselves. How do we develop that mindset?
Now, for you to develop that, it's so simple. It's so simple. Just like the way each and every one of us has different thumbprints. We also have different faces, right?
Yeah.
Our voices are also different. Now, the question is, you search yourself, what am I good at? What am I good at? When you copy from people, you might not even get the best version of yourself. A lot of people copy this, they copy that, fine and good. From the beginning, everything, there's nothing that is known. Everything is still, there's nothing like that is new under the earth. We only recreate and rebrand. They have been there. We have the lawyers in the 90s, in the 24 BC and the rest. All these people are already there. The truth is, how can I do it in a better way? How can I do this in a better way? Fine. Back in the days, we used to have, we take water from the well. Am I right? Before you know, somebody just like, okay, fine, it's an idea. How will I keep on doing these things? Why can't I develop a new way of having a borehole? And somebody came with an idea, wow, let's get a borehole ready. And the person creates that. And the other person comes, how can I do these things better than the way it was? Just remember, the same pattern, but in a different direction. Yes. Somebody might be seeing something in a different way. You can recreate your own brand from it. You can pick in a little from it. And back in the days, they sell Gary in Mudu. Now, they do it packaging. Can you see the way it is now? So you can be able to see a pattern. How can I develop it to a different way. What are my gifts? What do I love doing? Somebody cannot just like, okay, I'm a mechanic. And I went to school, I went to a law school. And because I see you making money, I will tell myself as a lawyer, let me go and learn mechanic. Do I really love that job or not? The first thing you should be able to know, will this thing give me joy? Because the first thing you should be able to understand, if that thing gives you this joy, that drive, you wake up like 3 a.m., you still find joy in doing it. You are supposed to work for 9 hours, you are working for 14 hours. Do you love these things or not? So it's not all about whatever you see, hey, I want to do, this person have done this, he's making it, let me go and copy. Do you really understand what he's doing? Do you really like what he's doing? Do you really enjoy that stuff, that whatever you are doing it, you can sleep, wake up, or you just like for the next 2 days, you don't even sleep, and you see yourself doing it well. So as youths presently, you should be able to ask yourself, search yourself deeply. What is that thing that I will do that will give me this joy? Because it's not the money. Money is not the first thing. Money is not the first. But the question is, do you enjoy it? The moment you enjoy what you're doing, the money follows. So when you go for the skill sets, the financial aspects fall in line for you. So it's not about when you pursue money, you don't get that. People leave a lot of jobs today. I'm learning this skill, okay, fine. I'm traveling from Nigeria, I'm going to UK because of financial problem. I want to get a job because of financial problem. But the question is, what you are doing presently, are you enjoying it? The moment you are enjoying it, you see yourself feeling happy, the money is not a problem. And when the money starts flowing, you don't even feel it. So I think with that, if we can be able to understand how to move in that direction, then we'll have a very, very good future.
Okay, thank you. And you also talked on investments. You stressed on investments. I've talked about the risk in investments. Now, how do we identify bad investments and scams? Looking at the digital space that we feel that we are in today's world, how can we identify and even try to avoid involving ourselves in anything that has to do with scam or any kind of bad investments?
Good. There's one thing I want you to understand. There's what we call repeated patterns. There are repeated patterns. Whatever has happened before, it will keep on happening again. If there are good investments, there's always a pattern. Most people don't sit down to study the patterns. Does this thing, who is the person doing it? Who have gotten this out of this? Do you get? It's not just to follow and follow and follow. Most people fail to make inquiry just because they just want to make that money right away. Any information you don't know is always against you. So you should be able to have a detailed information of, if this investment is coming, okay, what are they doing? How are they growing it? How long has this investment been into place? There are findings. Thank God we're in a digital space whereby you should be able to know where things are coming from. There are platforms you will go today and ask questions, and you do a lot of research on it, if these things are good or not. So when a rich man is not in hurry. A wealthy man is not in hurry to make money. I think let me put it this way. A wealthy man is not in hurry to make money. He takes his time to analyze. He don't just take the whole of his money at once and putting the whole of my money into these investments. He look at it, okay, fine. How is this thing going? He looks at the market, okay, fine. Let me see how it is. In Forex, there's what we call a stop loss. Whatever you are doing, you should be able to have a stop loss. A stop loss means the moment the market is going higher and higher and higher, you should have a point where you get to that, see, I don't want to exceed these points. But the reason is you should be able to analyze whatever that is happening. So in investments, you don't just jump into it because a friend will tell you, I make this money. Somebody will come and tell you, I just doubled this money in 3. You should be able to sit down and ask yourself, what are they doing? The question is very, very important. Any information you don't know is always against you. The moment you have the right information, number one, you save yourself the peace of mind. You have that peace of mind, and that peace of mind gives you rest. So the moment you're able to understand, okay, fine, I'm doing this, and on this note, I'm taking this decision to do this because I have made a lot of inquiry. You can be the 7th person to come into that platform or the 100th person to come into the platform of investment, and you keep on making your good money. So the most important is to have a detailed knowledge, not just just small knowledge, but detailed knowledge before going to investment. So what I would advise everybody today is have a detailed knowledge before going into an investment. What do they do? How long have they been into this business? And what are the risk factor? There are risk factors too. Where do you fall back on if it doesn't? So I think with this, if you're able to work on that, understand how it is, you'll be able to move.
All right. Just as you said, what I can summarize is any investment that doesn't have a detailed principle can be referred to as a bad investment.
Absolutely.
You have had it. Any investment that you looked at, you've studied, and doesn't have a basic outlined principle, which you are advised not to partake in such, it can be a bad investment. So as we draw the discussion to a conclusion, what piece of advice do you have in conclusion to any Nigerian youth on this subject we just spoke on, financial literacy, and how to be financially stable?
My take on this to every Nigerian youth, have this decision in mind that whatever you can be able to do, put in your best to it. Your best is one thing that you should also do. And also, hard work is very, very important. Hard work is very, very important. Make your plans, arrange yourself, do your self-evaluation, and ask yourself certain questions. Where am I failing it? And how can I do well? So if you're able to understand that very, very well, the sky is yours. So don't even be in a hurry. So just like, I want to make the money, understand the financial decision. What am I doing? How do I want to do it? Where am I going to? What are my next plan? What are my next actions? Is in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 10 years? We should be able to have a long time plan. So I will advise every youth today, please and please have a long time plan. Because when you have a short time plan, before you know, you get so desperate, you get so anxious, you want to do it now and now. But when you have a long time plan, it gives you a clearer picture. Just like an eagle always have a long time, it sees from afar. So if you're able to have a clearer picture, okay, fine, I'm having a long time plan. Where do I want to get to in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? And the moment you're having that in mind, the question you should be asking yourself, okay, how do I get it done? How do I achieve this? How do I? The moment you're asking yourself, how do you get these things done? You should be able to have your scale of preference. What are those things that are very, very important to me? Sometimes it might be you to have this self-education, which is one of the most important things. We look at the financial literacy, the financial skill. You should be able to understand at this point that, okay, fine, this is one thing I need to have, the financial knowledge. Is it through the books? Is it through the audio? Is it through communication? Is it through counseling? So if you are lacking in these aspects, you can be able to find someone, okay, fine, I need to do well in these aspects. So I think with that, if the youth can be able to put themselves together and ask the most important question, where am I presently? Where am I going to? And what do I want to become? So with this, I'm sure the sky is just a starting point for them.
All right, thank you very much. There are keys to financial wisdom. And some of these keys include, we are to determine and to know the difference between what are assets and what are liabilities. Because without this knowledge, we tend to, most times, try to attend to the liability part of it because of the luxury that comes with it and forget the place of assets. It's important that we understand that assets creates income, while debt creates dependencies. And also another key financial wisdom is to understand that money, the process to wealth is a continuous learning. The most underrated skill of an investor is doing research. If you underrate that aspect, then you will not be able to grow. But that is one of the most underrated skills. And then we have to look at the place of the mind, because financial success is more about behavior and habits that match it. Financial success is all about behavior and habits that match it. So even as we wrap up tonight, this conversation, it's important that I bring you this quote that says, "The more you educate yourself about finances, the better equipped you will be to make positive choices with your money. The more you equip yourself with financial, with positive choices, the more you'll be able to spend your money wisely." So to this, I want to say thank you very much, sir. It is a pleasure having you on our platform, and we look forward to bringing you on our platform subsequently, even as we have the time to discuss on issues like this. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much.
And God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
So to our viewers out there, we want your dials to keep on this station, on this dial, because we are going to be bringing more insightful discussions such as this your way subsequent times. God bless you. Until we meet again, remain blessed. Thank you.